Let's bring in Ben Ferguson, host of the Ben Ferguson podcast. And we're glad to have you with us, Ben. Thank you for being here. So, you know, everybody makes mistakes occasionally in public. But now you've got both sides saying the other side is making more mistakes. This is President Trump when he was trying to go after President Biden for what he called clean fakes, which, you know, this is a newish phrase.
Yes.
But the phrase is actually cheap fakes. So watch this.
They say the videos of Crooked Joe shuffling around are clean fakes. You know what a clean fake is? They're deceptively edited. They say they're deceptively edited.
Your thoughts, Ben?
Look, I laugh because if it's something like this comes up and you're getting briefed on it and you're sitting there, and I saw this during the Bush years in 2004. It's like, wait, what are y'all talking about? There's this new thing. You need to know about it. This is what they're saying. And you might wing it on that. I don't think that means he's losing it. I mean, I laughed even last night. Jimmy Fallon was like trying to convince his audience that Donald Trump is losing it at a higher level than Joe Biden. And I just don't think the American people are that stupid. I think you can see with your own eyes that there's clearly a major problem with Joe Biden. I think it's obvious it's a cognitive decline. And if you don't believe me, just look at what the Department of Justice said. We can't charge him with any crimes for any of his classified documents because they would say he's too old and senile to be held accountable for it. So his own administration, the people that work under him at the Department of Justice and her have said it too. So if you don't believe me and you think it's partisan, look at what they say.
I hear you. 48% say that they don't like either candidate. Very unfavorable. So this is where we are. Here's the conversation that brings this to light from the Breakfast Club. Watch this.
I think it's important after this presidency, right? We really set an age limit on these people who we voted in the office, bro. We convicted. We got a freaking convicted son that's 80, and then we got a dementia Joe that's 81. Like, come on, what the hell are we doing?
You Democrats keep want to tell us not to believe our lying eyes. Like, everybody can see Joe Biden he is 81, and God bless him. You know, but that don't mean you're capable, you know, and you're the only person to run this country. You know, we see what's going on.
I'm sure former President Trump would want to pipe in and say he's 78, but the fact of the matter is they're about 3 years apart, and they're, you know, not spring chickens, either one of them. But I think, you know, these folks, I've heard similar conversations to that. I'm sure you have too.
Look, I don't care what someone's age is. I care what they're like when they're in 100%. Office, whether it's 60, whether it's 58, whether it's 84, I don't care. You look at Reagan, for example, he was older. And he obviously, I think people would say that guy knew what he was doing, especially when he was running. And when he was running, and people were trying to hit him on his age. Donald Trump
was 78 when he left office.
Right.
Just to keep that in mind.
Sure.
I mean, he was 78 when he left office. So.
And life expectancy is different now than it used to be. And I also think that people are sick and tired sometimes of younger people that think they know everything. So there's a safety net in going a little bit older because you failed more, you've seen more ups and downs in life. I don't mind age. But when I look at someone and I say, are they competent or not? I just look at the schedule of Trump and what he does. And the White House has admitted they keep him on a noon to 4 schedule on average. How does the President of the United States of America running a country with a 4-hour workday? And they've said that publicly. So when you put it all together and you look at him and you watch the freezes, I actually feel bad from a human standpoint for Joe Biden. And I look at it and I'm sitting there, I'm like, when they said, oh, well, Barack Obama's just putting his arm around him because they're best friends. No, he was helping someone off stage that was lost.
Yeah, you know, I think that the White House spin on this is really tricky because everyone sees what they see, and these videos are not altered.
Well, and they're not fake, they're real.
But I just want to get in one more thing with you because this is from Axios, and it talks about the Democrats' strategy, and it says a Democratic strategist in touch with the campaign. So that's a little bit like, that could be anyone, right?
Yeah.
But here's the quote. It is unclear to many of us watching from the outside whether the president and his core team realize how dire the situation is right now and whether they even have a plan to fix it. That is scary. So that comes from an unnamed person, but it's not dissimilar from what we've we've heard from Axelrod or Carville, other big names in the party.
Look, they've got a very short window if they're going to make a change. Then they'd have to do it at the convention. I think this debate coming up is going to be really the last moment. If he goes on that debate stage against Trump and he gets decimated, not because he just gets beat politically, right, with the arguments over the economy or any of the other issues and foreign policy, but he just can't handle it, then I think you're going to have a real problem, and they could talk about the convention. But look, you still would have to say...
Who's going to be the leader in that?
I
mean, somebody's going to have to stand up and say, okay, here's what we're going to do.
Well, and is it going to be Harris?
Dean, the congressman who ran against him was somebody who stood up and said, we need another alternative here.
At the end of the day, Joe Biden is going to put his aviators on. He's going to say, I'm running for president, and none of you can kick me out.
I think so, too. Ben, thank you.
Good to see you.
Ben Ferguson of Ben Ferguson Podcast. Great to have you with us today.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.